Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome into the new video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get the most amount of FPS in Overwatch 2 since Overwatch 2 just came out yesterday. It is really simple. The settings are really simple to set up, so let's go right into it. If you guys don't already know, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Link is down in the description below. Now let's go into these settings and how to set them up. First things first, once we log into the main menu, you'll have to wait for a big queue because there is a lot of people trying to play the game. Once you get into the queue and into the game, you press escape, go to options right here. So once we get to the options, you will see a lot of different stuff. First, we'll have to go to video and change this from borderless to full screen. If you want to get the most amount of FPS, you would want to be on full screen. Why full screen? I mean, if you alt tab, it will lag sometimes, but that's totally fine. You can go to borderless if you are alt tabbing a lot or if you're streaming. I personally use borderless for that, but if you are just gaming and you want the most amount of FPS, go to full screen. Target display is the best match, so it matches your monitor. You can choose whatever one you want manually. Resolution, you want the highest amount of refresh rate over here. For some reason, it's 85 default. You set it to 165 over here if you have a 165 hertz monitor. So whatever monitor you have, you set it to that resolution and that refresh rate. Field of view, I have it at max. I love max amount of FOV. If you prefer something else, you can choose that. Dynamic render scale, I have this set to off over here because you don't want it to like fluctuate between different render scales. I love it to be 2K all the time. If you have a 1080p monitor, you can always have a 1080p. If you want to go dynamic, it will go from 1080p to 720p up and down to like fix your FPS. If you want that, you can, but it will suffer gameplay wise and look wise. Render scale, frame rate, this is set to custom over here. You can make your FPS, like if you have 165 or 144, I like to have it 200 over here because I don't like to go anything above that. If it does go above, your GPU overheats for no reason. It makes no sense. So locking it at a 200, just above our refresh rate is totally fine. We don't want it to go too much to overheat our GPU. VSync you set to off. I have it set to on because when I stream is the best for my stream. But usually if you're just gaming, set it to off, you're chilling. Triple buffering, set it to off, and reduce buffering, make sure this is set to on. Once you have this, NVIDIA Reflex Enable Plus Boost is the best if you have new NVIDIA GPUs. This will help you a ton with the FPS. Gamma correction, contrast, brightness, this is all personal preference. Do whatever you want with this. This is totally fine. HDR is only if you have an HDR display. And if you have an HDR display, you probably have a good GPU, so you don't need these settings. Graphics settings over here. The best settings would be set to everything to low over here. High quality upsampling. You can set this to AMD FSR or default. I have it set to default. Texture quality, you can set everything to low over here if you want the most amount of FPS. Usually, if you have a somewhat decent GPU, you can play the game on medium or high. There's not really a big amount of difference. And the game will look much better than obviously running it all on low because you're gonna see way more enemies and it will just be, nicer to play. If you have a really, really low end GPU, run everything on low, and then you can set up the damage effects over here to low if you really want, but I think default is more than enough. And then reflections, if you would like to see more reflections or the screenshot quality or any of the shadow stuff, you can set this to off or low. Shadows are good for, some enemies when they have like specific shadows on specific maps. You can see it more and, find out where they are. For our details over here, we can, change our performance stats. So we can have frame rate shown, GPU temperature, VRAM, and all of that. I have it set to off. I only have my frame rate on so I can see it, but usually it's locked to 165 or 200 anyway. You can, enable whatever you want as your personal preference. Maybe a GPU temperature so you see if your GPU is overheating or not. That's fine as well. And one of the most important things we need to change is in accessibility. Accessibility right here, we're gonna revert this. This is fine. If we go to accessibility right here, camera shake, we will see it's usually set to default, which I don't know why that's a thing, but you never want your camera to shake in a game, especially if it's, high motion, a lot of stuff going on competitively. You don't want your camera to shake because it messes up your aim, it messes up, how many enemies you see on the screen and stuff like that. So you always want it reduced. your HUD shake off and reduce menu movement on. This is the most important thing. This will remove the whole shaking movement, all of that, so you get the best experience in Overwatch 2. Sound settings, you can set everything up to your default, your preference. Master volume, I have this set to, like 90, 88 over here. Music, you can turn off or on, whatever you want. In-game voice, and then playback, you set it to your whatever device you're using. I have a Go XLR mixer, so I use system over here. Spatial audio, if you have headphones that support Dolby Atmos, you can use Dolby Atmos for headphones. If not, use system settings. Everything else, default. You can enable sound plays while in background as well. So if you alt-tab, the sound still plays, or you can disable that if you want. And then that's pretty much it. The settings are really, really simple to set up. The game is very well balanced, and it runs on most low-end GPUs and low-end PCs. So you shouldn't have any issues running these settings. And yeah, if you guys did like this video, make sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't already know, I do stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Link is down in the description below. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out and have a good one. Bye-bye.